Okay, I just started the stream, so
Oh,
whenever
okay,
you're
yeah.
ready.
Brilliant way to start. I'm gonna go on deaf and I'll be back in a few.
Hell yeah,
I'll be,
bruv. Hell
yeah,
yeah,
look,
bruv.
I'll be, I'll be back in a jiffy. I'll try to be as quick as
Are
possible.
you
I
are you
promise.
fucking British or
Yeah, of course I am.
Jesus Christ? I'm talking with the fucking Britbonger? I
Mm-hmm.
gotta hate you now. I'm just joking. I'm not like those other Americans, bruv. Oh, okay, just go get your tea.
Yeah. I was about to say I'll be back.
Why the fuck's my mic picking up the fact that I'm drinking water? I'm looking at my fucking OBS screen thing and it's picking up that I'm drinking water. Okay. Let me fill up my screen with a couple of docs just in case. Stats? No, not those stats. You can eat my ass. Stats. Stat these nuts. Thank you. Thingy. YouTube control panel. You can put that on the side right here. How do I do this shit? I don't want you to show that again. Thank you very fucking much. Okay. Put that right there. There we go. And then not those stats! Son of a bitch! Doc, the chat, just in case, you never fucking know. If somebody wants to ask questions. And then I'll have Discord on the side right over here. Just in case some shit happens. All minimized and shit. And there we go. I'll just have you down there. I had a fucking thing like a pin stuff. Huh. Wonder where it went. There we go. Test. Okay, that works. Whew. We're gonna start reading Des Kapital soon. Finally, we've been trying to fucking organize this for a month or two at this point. What I hate the most is the fact that I'm gonna have to fucking actually read out loud verbally rather than, fucking, you know, whatchamacallit, have somebody else do it. Mainly because my friend over here, Penelope, is sick right now. Kinda, sorta. She could talk, but we'll figure it out as the time goes on. Bum, bum, bum. She might take a bit with it, so let's see what else I can find real quick. Let's look on Steam. Let's see what's up with Steam today. Layman Gay, Star Wars. Oh, this just released here today? Hmm. Scum? What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Okay, I'm gonna test my audio by bringing it a little closer to my mouth. What is it with some of these games being in early access for like 6 fucking years? This released in 2018. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome back, bruv. Bruv.
Thank you. When I
Okay.
got my brew, very
What
nice.
should I call you for the stream, by the way? Just regular?
Just
No?
call me Pen.
Pen. I'll call
Same
you.
thing.
Okay, Penella Pen.
Don't
Pen.
call me Penelope P.
Don't. That's supposed to be server only shit. Okay.
Apologies, apologies. I didn't get the memo. No one sent it to me.
There was no memo. You're supposed to know that.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I'm autistic.
We're both autistic. That's not an excuse, as my coworker would say when I fucking started texting on my phone when she was talking about stats and quotas. She got so fucking pissed when I stopped paying attention, just started texting. Oh man, it was
Well,
funny.
well, she should add you to the stats of people that start texting on their phone board.
She
So
can
if you
add
think about
me
it,
to the list of people who hate my job because quotas fucking suck and the corporations can eat my balls.
you see, I've
Um
never had a job, but like preach.
okay, so which version of the book do you have? I have what's that fucking penguin version called?
I don't
Let's
remember.
see.
Hold on.
Communist Manifesto. Marx, Carl. Not that fucking library, dumbass. Oh yeah, it's Penguin Classics. I just looked.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That
You
one.
have that one?
I know that I have that one. I just don't know fucking where in the house. This
Where
house
was
has
this?
been moving things around, and so haven't been able to find a lot of things that have gone missing.
Uh, but yeah, I have the Penguin Classics version. What do you have that too, or?
Yeah, I do. I don't have it on me right now, but I know I have it.
Okay, well, I have it screen sharing. You can check it out there if you want.
Yeah, I already am. Don't worry.
Okay, so you ready? We're gonna finally do it. Peter Pan.
Yay.
I'm gonna call you random nicknames that I come up with as time goes on. That's gonna be our fucking gig. That's gonna be our shtick.
What a great fucking shtick to have.
Yeah, I love making random names up for people. Okay,
Of course you do.
so let's
Oh,
go. You read because I hate reading out loud.
well,
Oh shit! Wait, what the fuck should I call you for the stream? Sama, we're streaming right now. What's up? Oh, he's typing in the
Summer.
chat. We're all streaming on Discord and I'm streaming to YouTube right now. Yeah, we're finally starting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speak. Get on that mic, brother. We're gonna read. I have no idea how long we're planning going for. You have no mic? That's fucking lame. Lame and gay. But let us be. You can talk in stream chat here. I'll link my stream. Then you can watch and you can give me one view. You can give me my one view and type there. Let's see here. How the fuck do I? Yes, my greatest fanboy indeed. Yeah. There you
Oh
go.
my god.
The
Sorry, I didn't mean
thumbnail is
to.
absolutely atrocious because it won't fucking fit in the goddamn thing. You can see it has the black borders and everything. Okay, you ready to start,
That was
Pen?
Mark's that was Marx's actual build, by the way. I met him once.
Who?
He was actually that jacked IRL.
Hell yeah, dude. Did,
He just always wore like really baggy clothes because he didn't want to flex.
I heard claims that Marx had dick boils. Did Marx have dick boils?
Um, He definitely did have barnacle dick, I can tell you that.
Okay, let's start reading Das Kapital.
Oh, you don't get the reference like Charles Darwin.
Okay, let's start reading
It was
Barnacle
a
Dick
Darwin
Boy.
reference. The fact that like he got evolution, he got inspired for evolution when it came to him studying barnacle dicks, or something similar.
Yeah, let's read about barnacle dicks, Lenin, and capitalism in Das Kapital. Das Kapital.
Speaking
Okay.
of Lenin, I have his book, Imperialism: The Highest Age of Capitalism.
Yeah.
Pretty good read. Anyway, sorry. Let's have you
Uh,
reading this.
yeah, I'm
You
just
reading
yawning.
this shit aloud or like
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's either read it aloud or read in our heads and literally just do nothing on the stream. Milkshake
in that case
Marxist?
we're
What
reading
the
it aloud
fuck?
then?
Who the fuck is the Milkshake Marxist? Touch
Huh?
Salma, is that you? Is that your YouTube channel? Or is this a random person that found me? Wait, that's not?
100%.
Oh my god. I thought it was him. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Excuse me, I need to go on mute
Yeah,
for a
it's a
second.
reading stream though. It's a reading stream. I thought that was you, Sama. Okay. I'm switching to an alt because I almost doxed myself. Okay.
Alright,
Oh
calm
dear
down.
god.
And
Okay.
also another preliminary disclaimer that I've
Got
already
it.
fucking made.
It's a rando. It's a
Ill,
rando.
so I'm gonna
Okay.
be
Let's
I'm gonna be
start. Let's
sniffling
start.
and coughing quite a bit.
We need to be productive, goddammit. Okay, so chapter
Leftists
1, the
productive when?
command what's up?
I said leftists productive since when?
That is true. Got it. Thank you, Gasani. I'm gonna call you Dasani, like water bottles, for no reason. Gasano. Okay. Anyways, let's read. Chapter 1,
Go
the
on.
commodity. I'm already fucking bored. I'm just joking. The two factors of commodity: use value and value, substance of value, magnitude of value. The wealth of societies in which the capitalist mode of production prevails appears as an immense collection of commodities. What the fuck does this one mean? What does that do?
It's the I think it's
Ah! No! Go back! That's too far forward. The
like
individual. What's up?
it's referencing, I think, to like the appendix,
Oh, yeah,
different
yeah.
for words.
The individual commodity appears as its elementary form. Our investigation therefore begins with the analysis of the commodity. These have the popular highlights, which I'm going to highlight, by the way, because people highlight that shit. The commodity is, first of all, an external object, a thing which through its qualities satisfies human needs of whatever kind. The nature of these needs, whether they arise, for example, from the stomach or the imagination, makes no difference. Nor does it matter here how the thing satisfies a man's need, whether it directly means as a means of subsistence, object consumption, or indirectly as a means of production. So pretty much like any fucking product or service. Oh wait,
Yep.
a product I mean, because he defined it as an external object. Every useful thing, for example, iron, paper, etc., may be looked at from the from the 2 points of view of quality and quantity. Every useful thing is a whole composed of many properties. It can therefore be used in various ways. The discovery of these ways and hence the manifold uses of things is the work of history. 1 second, I got a yawn.
Disgusting.
So also is the invention of socially recognized standards of measurement for the quantities of these useful objects. The diversity of the measures of commodities arises in part from the diverse nature of the objects to be measured and in part from convention. Nothing here sounds too bad so far. The usefulness of a thing makes it a
Mm.
use value, but this usefulness does not dangle in midair. It is conditioned by the physical properties of the commodity and has no existence apart from latter. It is therefore the... Shit, I can't fucking highlight the whole thing unless I... Oh. Oh, okay, you can do full screen. It is therefore the physical body of the commodity itself, for instance, iron, corn, a diamond, which is uh, the use value or useful thing. This property of a commodity is independent of the amount of labor required to appropriate its useful. What does that mean? The usefulness. of a thing. Oh, okay. The usefulness makes its use
Yeah,
value. Okay.
basically,
Like the more useful a
yeah,
thing
like
is, the more it has use value. And I'm assuming he's going. Let's see. Sama says this is basically an old definition of commodity. It seems product would be what he's referring to today. Commodity's a little different now, at least from what I learned in econ. Yeah, this basically seems to be describing what modern what you fucking call it products are. It's kind of explaining what stuff is and how its value is determined pretty much. Which okay.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like
he's using outdated
it is
language, of course, but
yeah, like it is important to take into account that like a good amount of verbiage, even some of his conclusions wouldn't really make sense today from a late stage capitalist perspective. What, like 160 years on from when he wrote published
I
this?
mean, everything that he said so far. We're only one fucking page in, but everything he
Well,
sounds
yeah,
so
but I mean,
far.
later on, he does get into a lot of historical context and using examples based upon that. Where I'm not 100% sure how much you guys would agree with what he says at his conclusions, particularly.
Got it. Okay, so when examining the use values, we always assume we are dealing with definite qualities such as dozens of watches, yards of linen, or tons of iron. I hear there's going to be a lot of talk of linen in this. For some reason, I don't know why. The use values of commodities provide the material for a special branch of knowledge, namely the commercial knowledge of commodities. Use values are only realized I don't know what the fuck that means. In use or in consumption. Lenin was whispered through. Yeah. They constitute the material content of wealth, whatever its social form may be. In the form of society, it can be considered here they are also the material bearers trigger of exchange value. Exchange value appears first of all as the quantitative relation, the proportion in which use values of one kind exchange for use values of another kind. This relation changes constantly with time and place, hence exchange value appears to be something accidental and purely relative, and consequently an intrinsic value, i.e. an exchange value that's inseparably connected from commodity inherited to it, seems a contradiction in terms. Exchange value, first of all, is a quantitative relate. Is that kind of referring to like pricing in a little bit, or
Hold on, let me reread it.
exchange values, first of all, appear as the quantitative relation, the proportion in which use values of one kind exchange for use values of another kind. Huh.
And what was the question again?
Is exchange value like in terms of what he's saying, um is he talking about exchange itself, like trading? Or was quantitative relation the proportion in which use values of one kind exchange for use values of
Um,
another kind?
he does expound upon this a bit later, but he sees exchange value different from like money value because, you know, oftentimes the amount of money that something might be worth isn't necessarily how much its use value is or exchange value, as
Okay.
exchange value can be very subjective or can be based upon, you know, the quantity of the commodity
Got it. So
that you
Sama
have.
is typing in the thing. So exchange value is how much a product is worth in terms of other products, whereas use value is how much its utility consumption is worth. So use value is like monetary value, and exchange value is in comparison to other goods. I'm assuming he might. Huh. He's not doing a
I
good job at
mean,
explaining this.
Marx also later makes a distinction between and money value as he does
I'm
see.
sorry, you cut out there. What was that?
Okay, Marx also makes a distinction between use value and money value, if I remember correctly, as he says effectively that like how much money a commodity is worth oftentimes does not reflect its actual use value and instead reflects an arbitrary number put upon it by companies to make X profit from it.
Okay, I'm having Wikipedia tell us real quick. In political economy, and especially Marxian economics, exchange value refers to one of the four major attributes of a commodity, i.e., an item or product produced for and sold on the market, and other values being use value, economic value, and oh, price is a different. What the fuck? Let's see. I
Yeah.
think
Oh
use
yeah,
value is
price
literally
value
just
is
how
what I
useful the
meant.
diamond has
Yeah,
considerably
sorry.
lower use value and extremely high. Let's see. Exchange value, which is the proportion at which a commodity can be exchanged for other entities. So kind of like trading pretty much. Rather than
Yeah.
monetary purchasing, like fucking what you call it? Wood probably has a higher exchange value than diamonds? Or diamonds might. What the fuck?
Um,
I could see why people
I
dropped the
mean,
book already, and I'm only 2 pages in. Ah.
not even a full 2 pages of that.
Regards exchange value as a proportion in which one commodity exchanged for other commodities. For Marx, exchange value is not identical to actual money prices will only even roughly correspond. One the what an item are produced for and sold on the market. The other values are use value, economic. Is he just making this shit up or like what? I'm trying to I'm not
um,
sure if I'm just tired and my tired brain can't comprehend this or what. Has a higher exchange value thanks to companies artificially raising it, I'd say, whereas wood iron has more use value since it's actually useful for a lot more. So exchange value might be how it is on the market. Let me have fucking ChatGPT simplify this.
Doodle Pixel AI as well.
So let's see.
I would
Okay,
try
so
and simplify it, but I'm too autistic to
think
probably do
of
that.
exchange value as the price or trade worth of an item, not in terms of how useful it is, but in how much it could fetch on the market compared to other items. So basically, how much it's worth on the. Penelope, are you okay? Not 20 minutes in, we're
Yeah,
already in
I'm fine.
ChatGPT.
Fine one.
I, I'm super new to Marxian economics. I'm like I have a surface level knowledge of it, but I've
Yeah,
never
evidently. And to be fair,
actually
this is the bare bones foundation of it.
I've never actually I'm talking about like very surface level stuff about like this dictatorship of the proletariat and all the mainstream stuff. I'm not at all well versed in like fucking exchange value use. I get what use value is,
Yeah, to
but
be fair,
I don't
the
know what the
wait, did you
fuck
say
exchange value
dictatorship or
means.
exploitation of
What?
the proletariat? Did you
What?
say did you say dictatorship or like
Dictate
exploitation of the proletariat?
dictatorship of the proletariat, like the number one thing that most people know, and I mean they've heard of it, but they don't know what it actually is. Fucking
Yeah,
hell. Me
which is
neither.
really okay. This is definitely a side note, but it is funny to me that people prescribe that oftentimes to Marxian economics.
In terms
A
of trade, so like its value on the market, pretty much like in a market economy. When it comes to trade or market value, diamonds typically have much higher exchange. Okay, so it's basically how much they're worth in terms of pricing.
um, again, no, because price value and money value are pretty much the same thing. It's how much they are worth relative to other commodities in the market. Whereas price and money value is,
Literally, how much they cost.
yeah, pretty much. Like,
Okay, I
like
think
if
I
you
get it. So it's kind of like the
like for
hierarchy
example,
of it's kind of like the hierarchy of valuable goods based on markets. Like what is at the lower end of the money high of the market hierarchy, and then you have diamonds at the top for like no reason other than it's artificially been made more.
oh yeah, yeah. Like,
So it's kind of like that a little bit.
um, yeah, like an example that I was given by a fellow Brit, obviously, is like say you have like 15 oranges against one football. Naturally, the oranges have more exchange value than the football because you can eat from the oranges, you can plant seeds from the oranges to get more oranges. they have more exchange value because realistically people would want them more than they would the football.
So it's
But
based
the football costs more than those oranges. So
So
it's like,
let's see, thinking about how much more the diamonds in terms of trade, despite this dude simply being rarer. Um shit. Trying to think here of how I can like put this in like layman's
of
terms a
course.
little bit, because like I'm not a fucking economist or anything like that, to be clear. I'm very much new
Yeah,
to
neither am I.
Marxian
Fortunately, we do
economics.
have an. Fortunately,
Yeah,
we do have an
fortunately we
econ
do have
student with us.
Sama here. Try
I was an econ student for like 2 years at high school.
Yeah.
Counts.
Let me think here. Fucking
I got the second
ChatGPT.
highest grade, so like I'm amazing.
So it's basically
Second
how
highest
much.
grade from a
So it's kind of like
from an
there's like a hierarchy of goods or commodities, pretty much, and some are ranked higher than others. Is that pretty much how it is, kind of?
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so like a computer has higher exchange value than a high end computer has higher exchange value than a fucking MacBook, because that's
Hmm.
how it's treated higher on the market for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Got it.
and
I'd say I should
yeah,
make a
things
fucking
can.
dictionary of these terms, but at the same time, they're
Yeah,
already out there. It's not like anarchism where it's
the
like a was that?
yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting. I just wanted to get across the point that say things can have a really high exchange, like diamonds, the example given, but have a really fucking low use value. Like there is a good amount of use that can be derived from diamonds, just like there's a good amount of use from any commodity. But relative to say something like an
Oh
apple,
wait, he explains
which
it down
has a
here.
lot more use,
He explains it down
huh?
here. We could have saved like 20 minutes by. Can't wait for us to forget
Oh well,
by the next 3 pages. That
well,
is
they're
true.
good questions to ask
Let
regardless,
us
and
consider
attempts
this
to
matter more
explain in
closely.
layman's
Okay, we
terms.
need to continue reading. 1 second though. My clothes need to be put in the dryer. It'll take like 1 minute. I'll be right back. How am
Hi.
I getting so many views? I have 4 fucking views according to my studio thing already, and I'm literally a nobody. 1 second.
That's what you get for reading Marx. Oh, fuck me, it's 6:05. It's so goddamn late. Oh, wait, I didn't get the newest edition of the paper. What's. Um.
One more second, guys.
National Education Union. So okay. I need to get the other. I need to get the other copies that I own. Ah, there it is. Good.
Hi, Tommy. Okay, 1 second. 1 second. YouTube algorithm brought me here after noon. Oh god, new norm. Oh, that's on YouTube now? What the fuck? I didn't know
Wait, what are
that.
you saying?
I'm looking at
What?
chat. Milkshake Marxist said YouTube algorithm brought me here after new norm brain rot. They're trying to compensate. I didn't know the new norm got on here. They released the second episode. Really? It's been like months since they released the first one. I didn't know they're still
Oh,
going. But anyways, let us consider the matter more closely, and hopefully he does a good job of explaining it. No, oh, YouTube poops, got it. In 2 minutes in borderline AI Of fucking course it is. It's goddamn new norm. Of course, it's AI generated. But
Also, sorry
let's
if I'm a bit distracted. I'm currently playing with McKitten. He's
got it, got it. I have my dog out here, so let us consider the
yeah.
matter more closely. Let's continue reading and being productive. A given
Yep.
commodity, a quarter of wheat, for example, is exchanged for X boot polish, Y silk or Z gold, etc. In short, it exchanged for other commodities in the most diverse proportions. Therefore, the wheat has many exchange values instead of one. Oh, it's like in comparison to all the other. Okay, I get it. I think I get it. But X boot polish, Y silk, or Z gold, etc., each represent the exchange value of one quarter of wheat. So the exchange value is the value between two different goods, and it can have a lot of exchange
Yeah.
values because there's a lot of different goods to compare it to.
Yeah.
Okay, that I get it now. I should. I swear we shouldn't have wasted like 7 minutes debating this and just read one more goddamn paragraph. I swear, dude.
Well, whatever. We were
Um,
productive, not in the most productive sense, but we still did something. I'll give us that.
it's better than us just talking about our pets for like another 7 minutes.
True.
And therefore, X boot polish, Y silk. Also, I think the exchange value can vary a lot more than the use. Oh yeah, for sure. If when everything has a shit ton of exchange values, then it's going to be a lot more varied when you inevitably have a shit ton of exchange values and stuff like that. But I digress. Therefore, X boot polish, Y silk, Z gold, etc. must have exchange value must as exchange values be mutually replaceable or of identical magnitude. It follows from this that firstly, the valid exchange values of a particular commodity expresses something equal, and secondly, exchange value cannot be anything other than the mode of expression, the form of appearance of a content distinguishable from it. Let us now take two commodities, for example, corn and iron. Whatever their exchange relation may be, it can always be presented by an equation in which a given quantity of corn is equated to some quantity of iron. For instance, 1 quart of corn equals X thing of iron. Why does this equation signify? It signifies that a common element of identical magnitude exists in two different things. In 1 quart of corn, similarly in X thing of iron, both are therefore equal to a third thing, which in itself uh, is neither one nor the other. Each of them, so far as it is exchange value, must therefore be reducible to this third thing. Okay, I think I'm starting to get it a little more now. So everything has a bunch of different exchange values because there's a bunch of different things that you can compare the value of X thing to out there. Like fucking gaming consoles exchange value to a computer, and then it also has an exchange value to an Xbox and an exchange value to a water bottle and everything, right? Is that kind of the gist?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's like a bunch of different exchange values for every single thing. Okay, let me get a drink of water. Don't want my throat getting dry. If there's a million types of products, I assume they'd be 999 exchange values for each. I guess so. I guess that's what it means. Exchange value is the value that a commodity has when compared to another commodity. And if there's like let's say 10 commodities on the market in this compared to the specific thing, it's going to have 10 different types of exchange values. And then there's different
Mm-hmm.
quantities of these things that can further change the exchange value. So exchange value is like one small thing in a larger picture of a bazillion different exchange values. That's what I'm getting from this. Should I ask ChatGPT? I'm sorry. I mean, like, I'm starting to get it the more we read into this. It's kind of interesting now that I think about it. Um, a single geometrical example will illustrate this. In order to determine and compare the areas of all rectilinear figures, we will split them up into triangles. Then the triangle itself is reduced to an expression totally different from its. I think in terms of modern econ, this sort of corresponds to the concept of utility. I think use value might correspond to the concept of utility more because utility is in reference to how useful it is, right? I'm guessing that use value is a lot more uh relevant compared to exchange value, because exchange value seems more like something for bartering a little bit. Like, this amount of corn equals this amount of iron in terms of exchange value. I don't think a lot of the time in capitalism we're not trading goods for goods. We're trading goods for money, you know?
Yeah. I think this is a setup really for Marx's analysis of how we got to this point, because in the book he doesn't just, go over how commodities came to be how they are, how capital came to be what it is, but he's like, okay, what got us here? And he goes into like how
you
the
think
first example of
you think
commodity
he's
usage would have been bartering, like you said.
do you think right now he's just going over the concept of commodity? I'm not sure if he's going over it specifically in a capitalist economic system, or if he's using commodity in terms of how it's been used throughout history, because exchange value sounds a lot more like a bartering economic thing rather than a capitalist economic thing. You know what I'm saying?
Um, I
Because you
don't remember where he goes from here, to be honest. So I
I'm
can't
not. I
say I
just
know.
don't think it's. This is one of the things. There's like some concepts that I'm aware of in Marxism, like the labor review theory of value and stuff, where I just don't think it's applicable to modern day capitalism. Personally,
Well,
like, he makes a lot of good points, but there's some concepts I think which are outdated for current day
one of
capitalism.
the one of the things that is oftentimes mentioned within communism is obviously the idea of, removing the concept of a commodity and money as a whole, which I know is something that is not always within anarchism. I know that there are some anarchist
Yeah, you have like fucking mutualism and shit
theories.
where money still
Yeah.
exists.
Yeah. And one of the things that is oftentimes talked about, which I'm not 100% sure I prescribe to because I'm not a communist, obviously, but
You don't sound like one.
is the idea of, say, um, just taking what you need and deciding for yourself what it is that you really need, um, which is where the exchange value sort of comes in, as it's like, okay, one person might really want that game console, another person might really want that fucking laptop.
It
If you
sound.
have both,
Mm.
one of them won't give a shit about the other, even if you put a price tag on it, etc., etc. They only want the laptop. So, um, I'm doing a shit job at explaining the point
Um,
here.
Exchange value sounds a lot more subjective and interpersonal so far than use value, which can more objectively be determined. So far, that's kind of what I'm getting a little bit.
Yeah, I think exchange value is something that is something that would realistically be used in a communist society much more than actual one.
Probably,
If
yeah, because like a bundle of fucking sunflower seeds or whatever is a lot more useful to a farmer than a fucking tub of iron, right? That's gonna have
yeah,
higher exchange value for the farmer. So it seems like exchange value is a lot broader, more. I don't know for sure, but it
more
seems a lot more
abstract.
subjective and interpersonal than use value
Yeah.
so far, is what I'm gathering, kinda. Because
Well,
different
even
items
use
have different
value is
use
rather subjective,
values.
as it really depends on a person's material conditions, what their job is, so on.
I get it, but I
Exchange
think
value can be that as well. But it's like, well, it's not inherently what is useful, it's what I want in comparison to this other thing.
mm,
Um, use value is really dependent upon
how useful
the
it is.
individual or
Like a
individuals
TV,
that are using the commodity.
like a TV is a lot more useful than a fucking let's take a water bottle for example. A TV has a lot more use. You can use it to entertain yourself, you can use it to educate yourself with like the news and stuff like that. So I would say you can make an objective case for use value based on how many different uses it has and how useful that thing is to your interpersonal life. Whereas, like I said, exchange
Technically,
value
yeah.
seems like it sounds more relevant, at least, to a communist society, a communist economic system. But in terms
Mm-hmm.
of capitalism, I don't think it plays that big of a role, at least compared to what he's saying right here.
Probably
Unless
not.
he's
Yeah.
talking about commodities as a whole throughout history and not specifically under capitalism. I guess we're gonna have to read on to find out. I guess, um,
Mm.
what context he's talking about commodities in. Um, let's see. So a simple geometrical example will illustrate this. In order to determine and compare the areas of all rectilinear figures, we will split them up into triangles. Then the triangle itself is reduced to an expression totally different from its visible shape, half the product of the base and the altitude. In the same way, the exchange values of commodities must be reduced to a common element of which they represent a greater or lesser quantity. This common element cannot be a geometrical, physical, chemical, or other natural property of commodities. Such properties come into consideration only to the extent that they make the commodities useful, i.e. turn them into use values. Okay, so properties like physical and chemical and other natural properties of commodities can be changed into use values. Maybe he's talking about, like, let's, for an example, maybe like cleaning stuff, because that's chemicals and other stuff that are changed, that has their use values changed when they're turned into sellable products. I'm guessing that's an example of what he might be referring to here
Yeah.
when he says
Oh, wait, hold
chemical.
on.
Or
I
changing
was
iron into a shovel, that increases its use value.
I was just reminded of something. I will
Mm-hmm.
send it in the chat. I have an entire video series from someone which
David Harvey?
explains in the most simple terms volumes 1 through 3 of Das Kapital. So if you have any misunderstandings after reading through this shit, then just go through this video series, I'd
Let's see.
recommend.
Okay, I'll have to check that out later.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to understand ourselves first and try to make ourselves big brain.
Yeah, yeah. That's
I
what I
think he's
reckon.
trying to say there's common value among all commodities, not in their use value, but rather it's the human labor involved in the creation. Yeah, that's the labor theory of value, isn't it? The labor theory of value is the idea that
Yeah,
the worth of goods can be objectively measured by how much labor time is put into the creation of them. That's right. That's what
yeah. I don't think Marx entirely prescribes to that. He does use it to a degree, but I don't think he and most Marxists today use the idea of, oh, if you put X amount of time into the creation of commodity Y, then you should get Z money. Because it's like, well, there's
I've
a lot
oh
of commodities that take barely any fucking time or effort to make, and yet they're still really important.
I've
So,
always said the labor theory of value can be useful depending on what economic system you're under. But in terms of capitalism, that's not the case. I don't think labor theory of value is applicable to capitalism at all. Because under
mhm.
capitalism, the market is what determines the value of a product, not the time and labor you put in.
Yeah,
In terms of its monetary value, that is. Um, but let's continue reading. Such properties can, okay, within the exchange relation, one use value is worth just as much as another, provided only that it is present in the appropriate quantity. Or as old Barbin says, one sort of wares are as good as another if the value be equal. There is no difference or distinction in things of equal value. 100 pounds worth of lead or iron is as great a value as 100 pounds worth of silver and gold. So, I mean, I think I get what he's saying. Um, let's see. Within the exchange relation, one use value is just as worth as much as another, provided. Okay, so there are some cases where there's actual equal exchange use value between goods, like the fucking example here. As use values,
mhm.
commodities differ above all in quality, while as exchange values they can only differ and do not contain an atom of use. Okay, so commodities is about a use value is quality of a product, and exchange values are the quantity of. Okay, that makes it kind of simple. $100 of gold equals $100 of cotton in terms of. Yeah, I think so. So I guess the good thing is I see why it's fucking highlighted by 1050 highlighters. This basically just sums it up as a whole. Use values are determined in quality. Exchange values are determined in quantity. I think that's a pretty big distinction to be made there that I'm glad he simplifies to. Because quality means the actual usage of an item, I'm presuming. Like a phone has pretty high quality compared to a pillow. But 100 pillows might have higher exchange values than 50 iPhones, technically. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You think ChatGPT would know? That's a good question. Let's see. Let me ask it.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll put it on screen. I'll fucking give me 1 second. I'm gonna put it on screen. Switch three screens. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring up ChatGPT on my computer. Let it join the call. It can be chart. That's kind of true. You can have it technically join the call now. 1 sec. Okay. So now that I have it here, let's ask. So hi. Okay. Eat my ass. I don't need Canvas. um, in Marxist terms, the exchange value of 100 villas would depend on the socially necessary labor time. So is this all tying back into the labor theory of value?
He does actually mention that in the next paragraph, but then also says that.
Okay, so all of this ties back to the labor theory of value. Pretty. That's what ChatGPT is saying, at least. And ChatGPT is ChatGPT. Okay. Okay, so if we let's see, 4-0 or 3 4-0. 4-0, see. Oh shoot, 4-0 with Canvas. Collaborate on writing and code. I didn't know that was. There we go. Why not add one more thing on top of it? If we then disregard the use value of commodities, only one property remains, that of being products of labor. But even the product of labor has already been transformed in our hands. If we make abstraction from its use value, we abstract also from the material constituents and forms of which makes its use value. It's no longer a table, a house, a piece of yarn, or any other useful thing. All its sensuous characteristics are being distinguished. So I'm assuming he's talking about something like turning raw materials into an actual useful good, right? But even
I think so. Yeah.
has already been, but even the product has been already transformed in our hands, and we make an extraction from its use value. We abstract also from the material constituents and forms that makes it. Oh shoot! Somebody came to my door. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Somebody's at my door, interrupting my shit.
Fucking hell, 1141 pages. Forgot how big it is. Ugh.
Hooray! It's my parallel bars. I'm happy. Let's go. I like these. They're nice. Sorry, my parallel bars. We skipped the intro stuff, right? Yeah, we just went straight to chapter 1 of commodities. I didn't think the preface was that important. Um,
Yeah, it's not, in my opinion at least.
let's see. Already 10% through noise. Well, I mean, look at the stuff we went over. We skipped over. See? All of this preface shit. I don't give a shit about prefaces. Prefaces are for gays. I'm just joking. um If we make abstraction from its use value, we abstract also the material constituents and forms of which make it a use value. It is no longer a table, house, piece of yarn, or any other useful thing. All its sensuous characteristics are extinguished, nor is it any longer the product of the laborer or the joiner, the mason or spinner, or any of the other particular kind. With the disappearance of the useful character of the products of labor, the useful character of the kinds of labor embodying them also disappears. This in turn entails the disappearance of the different concrete forms of labor. They can no longer be distinguished, but are altogether reduced to the same kind of labor, human labor in the abstract. Trying to think how we could formulate that for in layman's terms. Useful labor of the kinds of labor embodying them also disappears. This in turn entails the disappearance of the different concrete forms of labor. I'm guessing he's talking about turning commodities into other commodities, right? I'm guessing
Um,
that might be what he's referring to. What do you think,
I
Penella?
can't remember on this part. It's
How much
difficult
have
to
you read
use.
Marx before?
Yeah, I've read Das Kapital before.
Um, that's just what I'm
It's
getting
so
from here. At least the use value of commodities seem to change whenever we turn them into something else. What does sensuous means? Dictionary, that shit. I haven't downloaded the dictionary on here yet. I have it on my Kindle. Relating or to affecting senses rather than intellect.
um
Huh. Tama, what do you have to say about this? Go ahead and tap in chat whenever you can. Hmm. Are you brain stuffed, Pan? I'm reading
uh,
over and over without much digestion. Yeah, we are too.
what? Huh?
I was reading what Sama put in the chat.
Oh.
He's rereading over and over without much digestion. I mean, I understand that completely as somebody who's having trouble digesting it right now. That's what I'm ChatGPT. Let's ask ChatGPT. I'm sorry, like I don't know what else to fucking do when we don't have anybody to ask. I mean, it's like a good on the fly teacher. Let's see. I was joking about the ChatGPT thing. It's usually pretty accurate. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Passage Marx is specifically referring to the transformation of one commodity into. Oh, instead he's discussing how use value is conceptually disregarded to understand commodities purely in terms of their. It sometimes gives misinfo, but that's just a deal of you having to ask to clarify further. Instead, he's discussing how use value is conceptually disregarded to understand commodities purely in terms of their value as labor. Disregarding use value solely as products of labor. For example, iron and shovels have distinct use values. Iron might be used in construction. Marx says, oh, okay, he wants it to temper. He does not do a good job of clarifying that, I think.
Yeah.
I see what people mean when they say he's a poor writer. Like, some parts I get, other parts, like this, seem a little fucking weird. Least for both 19th century author. That is so true. Think about table and shover. Each has its own use value. The labor that went into is different from, but then we discard use value. The distinctions. They're just abstract later. General human effort has produced an object of value regardless of the labor form involved. Marx emphasizing that when we think of their use value, what matters is the amount of abstract value you need to produce them by stripping away the specific characteristics. Marx writes that value is common. Well, yeah, of course value is common to all commodities. That's like the entire point of commodities. Marx is showing that to understand the value of commodities in the capitalist economy, we need to move beyond their practical terms and specific forms. What's left is the abstract concept of labor that has been expanded to produce them, which is foundation for understanding exchange value. Huh. Okay, he thinks that use value doesn't mean much in okay. Use value isn't what determines the exchange value or market value of a commodity. In capitalism, what matters most is the value derived from labor, essentially the labor put in. Oh, is that what he's actually? It's the labor theory of value. That's literally. I mean, I wish he talked about it before. Don't really track today. Definitely not as much as. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I've always said the labor theory of value is like very outdated. He never even talks about it. Is that true?
Wait, he
He
never
ne-
even talked about what?
he never explicitly brings up the labor theory of value in all of Capital.
Yeah, he never outright mentions it.
That's ridiculous. Did he come up with it like after, or because it seems like the entire book might revolve around it?
I don't remember the entire book revolving around. Maybe I just have less of a memory with this book.
Where does the labor theory of value come from if not Das Kapital? I thought that's where it was like the birthplace of it. What the fuck? So when we talk about all this is all in the context of the labor theory of value.
I would suppose so.
Huh.
Again, I don't remember this being the case, but then again, it was well
Which
over
book?
a year ago when I read it. So.
Which book is the one that comes up with the labor theory of value? That's weird. I didn't know that. Huh.
Let me look at it.
I actually did not know that. That is very interesting. So, this entire chapter might just be completely outdated then. Milkshake Mark, if you're still there, I assume you're a Marxist. Do you agree with everything that we've kind of read so far in terms of the labor theory of value, or like indirectly being pointed at, basically, since it's never actually directly brought up? This seems, based on ChatGPT at least, it seems to be um, talking about how all of this ties back into the labor theory of value, which is arguing that the value of products is solely determined by the labor put into them rather than their use value in the market and everything like that. Do you agree with that, Milkshake Marcus? If you're still in chat, that is. Probably, by the way, the labor theory of value is older than Marx. I learned a bit about famous economists in the class. Oh yeah, Adam Smith did use the labor theory of value.
Yeah, it's just
No fucking wonder. That's right. He's the guy who kind of coined it a little bit. I
do
remember
think
that.
I do think he Smith it specifically for pre-capitalist societies and rejected its value in contemporary ones, being like doesn't really work.
Got it. So the milkshake Marxist responded, I'll be honest, from what I'm interpreting, I think this is relating to the labor theory of value, but I don't read theory that often, hence why I came here. Got it. Yeah, none of us do. I have like 40 theory books, but mostly it's different anarchist literature. And I've read some, but I'm not like a fucking theory nerd by any means. And I don't think I'm ever going to become like a terminally online weirdo like a lot of Twitter lefties are. Like all of them spout like the bourgeoisie, the ruling class, the dictionary. They spout all that big fancy talk, but I don't think they know what it means half the time. And I don't think I'll ever be using that language when talking to people. Already halfway there. Fuck you, Sama. I'm, I'm kidding. Um, let's continue looking at Das Kapital. Let us now look at the residue of the products of labor. There is nothing left. I don't know why, but it's really hard for me to digest stuff when I read it out loud, which is why I'm kind of pausing every other paragraph to try to digest this stuff with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to read? Or do you want me to continue?
Yeah, go for it. Wait, you're asking if I want to read it aloud or like just...
Yeah. We're gonna. I'm not sure if you want to take turns or do you just want me to read it?
No, sure, I can take time. I can do this now. Second paragraph, correct?
Yeah, let us now look at the residue of the products of labor.
There is nothing left of them in each case, but the same phantom-like objectivity. They are merely congealed quantities of homogeneous human labor, i.e., of human labor power expended without regard to the form of expenditure. All these things now tell us is that human labor power has been expended to produce them. Human labor is accumulated in them. As crystals of this social substance, which is common to them all, they are valued. Commodity values. The fuck is that? Warenwerte? What is that? In
It's
the
Warren Wordy.
what is
Warren
Warenwerte?
Wordy. I love mispronouncing foreign words, dude. It was written in German or something. Oh yeah, Marx was German, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he was. Though
Nine.
he lived in London for quite a while.
I guess that was original. No wonder he was an anti-Semite.
I almost went
I'm
to go
kidding.
visit his tomb when I was down in London as well.
What the fuck is with it with like Germans being anti-Semitic all the way back to like the Marxian days? I don't fucking understand it.
I don't fucking know.
Germany just really hates Jews for some reason. German is
Mm.
a funny language. I take it from someone who learned it. Indeed, like snitch and faffel.
Moving, moving on.
Wiener Schnitzel. To be fair, a lot of mofos were. That is true. Even Bakunin, who I kind of like, is a Jew hater. But let's continue.
mm.
Uh,
We've seen that when commodities are in the relation of exchange, their exchange value manifests totally independent of their use value. But if we extract from their use value, there remains their value as has just been defined. The common factor in the exchange relation, or in the exchange value of the commodity, is therefore its value. The progress of the investigation will lead us back to exchange value as a necessary mode of expression, or form of appearance of value. For the present, however, we must consider the nature of value independently, or its form of appearance.
let me read this. Erscheinungsform.
Erscheinung. Erscheinung.
Erscheinungs. Erscheinungs. Erscheinungs.
Erscheinungs.
I fucking love Germans, dude. Okay.
Um, we need
So when that
whiteboard.
is talking about the exchange, if we abstract their use value, abstract from the use value, there remains their value as has been defined. The common factor of exchange relation or in the exchange value to commodity is therefore its value. So taking away the use value, whatever the fuck is left is its value.
Yeah.
So he's taking away the usefulness of something and probably the exchange relations, and it's just leaving behind the value, which, in his opinion, I'm not even sure if it's his opinion or not, is the labor theory of value. The last time you pronounced it correctly, Germans sound angry with the I sound. Oh wait, I actually did pronounce it correctly. What the fuck? Yeah, let's go. Okay, so let's check. Okay, this is interesting. A use value or useful article therefore has value only because abstract human labor is objectified or materialized in it. How then is the man? Oh wait, Vergernschnackethlick. Vergegenstandeklit.
I'll be back in a few. I need to go get my tea. Y'all can keep eating.
Okay. How then
Food to
is
come.
this the magnitude of this value being measured? Fellas, has some Argentine bloodline. Bro, I'm fucking Pacific Islander, man. I don't know what's in me. I just have that fucking I'm just built different, bro. What can I fucking say? Um Verdurngestandeklicht. Nein. Um a use value or useful article therefore has value only because it abstract human labor is objectified or materialized in it. How then is the magnitude of this value to be measured? By the means of the quantity of the value forming substance, value contained in the article. This quantity is measured by its duration and the labor time itself measured on the particular. Okay, so yeah, he's definitely referring to the labor theory of value here. This has to be what he's fucking talking about. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT now. So he's gonna take like fucking 10,000 pages to explain this. I don't. I'm. Is this why people skip chapter one or get bored by chapter one? Because he might just start saying the same thing over and over again. He's the man station on the left. He texts me. Mm. Yeah, pretty much, yes. He circles around the same core concepts repeatedly, approaching them from different angles. Notorious challenging and honestly can feel a bit Dude, it's so bad that even ChatGPT is using fucking colloquial language. Using prompts like over and over again repeatedly can make ChatGPT biased to a certain. Oh, that's interesting. Did PragerU program ChatGPT right now? Oh, he recommends Dave. It recommends Dave Harvey. I like David Harvey from what I've seen. He seems chill. Okay, so uh I'll wait for Penelope to get back, but so far, a few pages in, he's just basically said, like I said, he's basically said the same thing over and over again, like a few different times. I don't know why he has to spend so much time going over this from different angles like this. Uh, I can see why people hate it now. Chapter 1 is like the most fucking ridiculous. Um, what do you say you kind of agree with that, Sama? The idea that he basically kind of goes round and round with his talking points in chapter 1 and that makes it really fucking boring. I wish it showed when somebody's typing in chat, just kind of like it does in because he's really trying to establish the labor theory, which as it wasn't as well understood slash known then, maybe perhaps there's a chance that it could be like that. Why is there an explanation point next to my thingy right here? Reduced or audio quality. This may be due to network conditions. Okay. Huh. I could see why people are annoyed by Capital, but I'm just waiting for my friend to get back. So we're waiting for her. Wait, where did she go anyways? I don't know where she went. Huh. She look at the group chat thingy. She's gone to do something. I forget what she said she's gonna do though. Uh I guess we could try continuing. Let's see here. I wish I could have her share my thing because if I need to go do something, I don't want to just fucking do this while I like go take a shit or something. I don't know. Trying to think here. Okay, one sec. There we go. Just so I can see chat a little bit better. Let's get back to this, and I'll try to summarize it for her whenever she comes back. A useful. Oh yeah, we read that already. By the means quantity, this quantity is measured by its duration. The labor time itself measured by it on the particular scale of hours, days, etc. It might seem that if the value of a commodity is determined by the quantity of labor expended to produce it, it would be the more valuable, the more useful, unskilled, and lazy worker who produced it. What? If the value of a commodity is determined by the quantity of labor expended to produce it, it would be the more valuable the more huh. Unskilled worker would need more. Oh, okay. An unskilled worker would need more. What the fuck? Is this guy serious? A product is more useful the more unskilled and lazy the worker is? Okay, we need to continue reading. I'm not sure if he's actually unironically believing this, but let's continue. Because he would need more time to complete the article. However, the labor that forms from the substance of value is equal human labor, the expenditure of identical human labor power. The total labor power of society, which is manifested in the value of the world of commodities, counts here as one homogeneous mass of human labor power, although composed of numerous individual units of labor power. Each of these units is the same as any other to the extent that it has the character of a socially average unit of power and acts as such, i.e. only needs in order to produce a commodity the labor time which is necessary on average, or in other words, socially necessary. Here is the popular highlight of the page. Socially necessary labor time is the labor time required to produce any use value under the conditions of production normal for a given society with the average degree of skill intensity of labor prevalent in society. The notion of power looms in England, for example, will probably reduced by one half the labor required to convert a given quantity of yarn into woven fabric. In order to do this, the English hand loom weaver, in fact, needed the same amount of labor time as before, but the product of his individual hour of labor now only represented by how. Okay. So basically, he's arguing that the value of a product has gone down over time the more efficient labor has gotten thanks to these innovations. Is that what I'm kind of getting from the summa? Transition from labor intensive to capital intensive production resulting in decline of labor's worth. Does he actually believe this, or is he just trying to give as objective analysis as possible? Oh, I mean, to be entirely fair, at his time, it was probably a lot different than what it is now. So it's probably outdated. It probably has some merit back when he was alive. But in terms of how it is right now, I don't know how anybody can actually unironically believe this is how capitalism works as of right now. I get it. I get that you might want a society based around this idea of labor equaling value of a product. But in terms of believing that's how capitalism works, I just don't see it. I don't know how any Marxist believes in this labor theory of value thing. And I'm not saying that to insult anybody. To be clear, I know there's a Marxist in the chat right now, milkshake Marxist. I'm not sure how well read you are into this whole thing. But from what I'm gathering here, this just doesn't sound applicable to modern day capitalism. There's probably other stuff in here that is. But in terms of this right now, I just don't see it. I'm gonna highlight that though. I'm gonna highlight the whole part because what I do like about what he's doing, at least, to help clear things up, which I'm not catching on yet, which I need to, is that every time he says something, he's at least giving some sort of example. Even if they might be bad ones, he is giving examples at least to kind of prove his point, which I appreciate for somebody fucking stupid like me. And at the end, we'll try to go over maybe a few core concepts just to, whatchamacallit, try to hammer home these points. Just so we all know walking away with something that we're going to remember for a little bit. What exclusively determines the magnitude of the value of any article is therefore the amount of labor socially necessary or the labor time socially necessary for its production. Yeah, he's saying the same thing a lot of fucking times. I've had it hammered into my head to always provide examples when writing economic essay analysis. That's actually a really good idea to do. Because these topics, especially to the average person, are really fucking complex. So it's always good to try to summarize it in layman's terms, and one of the best ways you could do that is absolutely providing examples to prove your point. I don't buy everything Marx said to any of the Marxist states that claim to uphold their version of the ideology. I respect him as he continued with his thought and expanded into much larger political theory. Um, would you say you agree with a lot of his analysis on capitalism, like the labor theory of value? I mean, I don't think that most, a lot of Western Marxists agree with the whole Marxist, Leninist, Stalinist, USSR shit. I know a lot of Western Marxists don't like that stuff, at least. But in terms of like his actual beliefs, such as the labor theory of value, what do you think on that? Because I just can't agree with his analysis of capitalism so far. Um, this I disagree with. What exclusively determines the magnitude of the value of any article is therefore the amount of labor socially necessary or the labor time socially necessary to its production. Uh, I'm gonna highlight that yellow because I disagree. Let me start highlighting yellow things I disagree with.
Hello, fellas.
Doesn't fit well into the post-industrial nature of capitalism today as an example sees services like Google. That is so true. Google and Netflix basically require barely any fucking, or actually they kind of require a fair amount of labor, but then you look at their fucking price and it's basically nothing. It's probably because they also have a lot of people that are paying them, so they can afford to keep it. They need very little labor compared to the scale and extent they operate at. Yeah,
Mm.
that is very
I just
true.
got back from eating. I'd love to read some more, but I have a lot of work I need. Hope you'll have a good rest of your time reading some more, though.
Yeah, I might
Um,
have to. I'll have to come back to this. Maybe are you able to come back later on tonight or?
um, maybe we'll have to see how much.
Yeah, I'm going to possibly try to stream later on tonight because I got some chores to do and I also
Mm.
gotta fucking walk off my breakfast still. So we're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
end it.
fair.
I know we only got like 10 pages in, but there's a lot to fucking talk about on these 10 pages, to be entirely fair. So
Yeah. To
we're
be fair,
definitely.
if we were to do this, if we were to do this every single day, that
It
would
would,
mean it'd only take 100 days to get through it if we did 10 pages.
yeah, I
You know.
know. So we're going to have to do the. I mean, I could probably stream it more. Maybe like dedicate a day to it or something like that. Because I do want to continue
Yeah,
this
it's
series
fine.
until we actually finish the book. Maybe I could bring in different people.
Mhm.
I'll be on for another 30 minutes or so before I need to go to sleep. Gotta wake up early today. Fair point. But yeah, I'm gonna end it for now because I got some shit to do. But you guys
Aye.
have a good day for now. Go ahead and subscribe because I do plan on streaming more theory eventually. Because I do have some anarchist theory that I definitely want to go over and stuff.